Sleeves here with your Senior Pickleball Report, powered by TNC Network. Let's get it going. Okay, folks, paddle review time. This is an interesting paddle, to say the least. Firefly Generator L1. Before we get to that, if you like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And hey, check out our newsletter as well. Tons of links in the description for discounts for everything from balls to paddles to shoes. You name it. Take a look down there and see what you can find for yourself. Holiday season's coming fast. All right, let's get to that paddle review. Firefly Generator L1. Okay, the Firefly Generator L1. This is not your ordinary typical paddle. It doesn't actually look like your normal typical paddle. It doesn't sound like your typical paddle. It doesn't feel like your typical paddle. And it certainly doesn't always what I call play like you think a paddle should play. This is outside the box. The specs are, pretty normal, although it's very light. Website claims, around 8 ounces. This thing came in, I weighed it several times on a digital scale, just over 7 ounces. So it's very light. It's handle length, let's see, 5.25, 4.5 millimeter core, and grip diameter is 4.25. Pretty standard looking tacky grip. But this is something different, and we will get into the specifics next. All right, a little background. People that are designing this paddle have over 50 years experience designing gear for amateurs and high-level players alike. You don't really go into specifics about what sport or anything like that, but they didn't want to be another company that just kind of went overseas and did their thing. They wanted to introduce new techniques, new technologies, and new ways of putting a paddle together. And they have done that. Definitely they have done that. This is very unique in a lot of ways, as I mentioned earlier. So when you first look at it, obviously you see that it's edgeless. From a distance, and when I first picked it up, I'm like, what is this material? It almost looks like it's, sort of like just kind of cut from a piece of styrofoam. But when you get into it and you start really looking at it, it's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. It's really cool. It's made actually in a factory that is solar powered, so that's pretty cool as well. But let's get into the things I like and enjoy, and maybe some of the things that didn't float my boat so much. All right, that's next. All right, let's start with the core. Closed cell core, supercell as they call it. It's kinetic, which means it's pretty responsive, and has a great weight to strength ratio. So the core is completely different. It sounds, when you first start hitting and playing with it, it almost sounds sort of a little like an aluminum bat when you go from a wood bat in baseball to aluminum. It's kind of got that ding sound. It's different on the court for sure. And people will notice it right away. It just has a unique sound, just like a lot of different paddle brands. Not a lot, but there's a few out there that are a little different. Gearbox being one of them. So this has its own sort of unique sound and core material in the way they put it together. So I do like it. It took me a little while, though. It took me some games to get used to it because it feels different than anything I've played with. And again, I've played with some paddles that aren't necessarily your standard paddles like, Gearbox and ProKennex. And it was even outside of that as well, as I mentioned. So it took me a while to kind of get used to the touch, the weight and the feel of it. Because it is so light, I could get around really fast, and I could actually generate a fair amount of power considering how light it is. It'll be interesting to see, because eventually I think I'm going to mess a little with it and start putting some lead tape on it to give it a little bit of weight. But I do enjoy it for hands battles. I just had to get used to how the ball was going to come off the face, and we'll get to the face next. All right. It's got a face that's very durable, according to their website. I've played with it for 3 to 4 weeks now, which I don't know, obviously, is a good test for durability, but it has what they claim a molecular adhesion face, as opposed to something that is, just rough on the surface. It's very actually smooth, but you can really spin the ball, and you can really hit consistent shots with it. I didn't notice any sort of dead spots. And they claim that this paddle's face, it's a polymer face, will last a very long time, and it is very durable. So far, so good on that. Again, for a face that you look at and there's really no sort of resistance on it, but you can really spin the ball. I don't have RPM numbers or anything like that, but it spins as much as anything I've been playing with for the most part. Apex sidewalls on this edge, which really made from highly resilient polymer and kind of heavy, which gives the paddle stability. So as light as it is, and there's no lead tape at all on this paddle yet, I did not find that it was moving around on resets or anything like that. It's a fairly stable paddle considering the overall weight. I don't know the swing weight on this, but it's pretty low, probably in the Pro Kinetics range for swing weight. So my guess is, low 100s, maybe even high 90s. I don't know, though. But I do like the edgeless design, and I do like the shape. It cuts through the air really well. So, again, playing more than a few games with this is required, I think, for most folks, because there are so many different sounds and feels and variations that we're just used to with a standard, sort of sandwichy paddle. So this takes some time. All right, let's talk about the handle and the grip and the overall body. Okay, finally, this is a unibody paddle. Underneath the face and all that, it's a 12K carbon fiber. So the core and the face and the carbon fiber run the length of the paddle. Great grip. I love the tacky, simple design grip. And I'd probably put a little rubber thing here. Just kind of gives it the, a little more aesthetically pleasing look to it. But not much I don't like. It took a while to get used to it, and it will for folks. Maybe folks that play with Gearbox or Pro Kinetics, it might take a little shorter time, but I think it is worth it. There is a 10% discount code, which you can get in the description, and I think it's about $200 right now, $199, and then you knock some prices off that, and they might even be running some discounts on their page. So take a look at their page and see what's going on, but we have a discount code in the description as well. But overall, very solid, very lightweight, and again, which I like because you can add to it if you need to adjust the weight. They just didn't mail it in. Firefly went after it and created something special, which I think will push the marketplace, which needs to be done from time to time because it tends to get complacent. So congratulations. And they have another model that you may want to check out as well. So go to their website, all links in the description. And at the end of the day, hey, let's pickle.